Hey, speaking of media lefties, too, I want to talk about former failed CNN host with relevance deprivation disorder, Don Lemon. And President Trump has ripped into him over his claim that he was acting as a journalist when he followed a mob of anti-ICE protesters storming a church in Minneapolis. Have a look at what he had to say.
One Trump hater in particular that just, I watched his performance. It was terrible. They try and use freedom of the press and all this to get out of a criminal event. But that was a horrible thing to witness.
And meanwhile, we've had others on the left saying that, oh, no, 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 this church, showing the church and what was going on in this church was like showing what was going on in the death camps in Nazi Germany. I mean, come on, Brianna, the left, they've lost it on this one, haven't they?
Don Lemon is an embarrassment of a journalist, let alone a man. I mean, take it at just the face value. Men are supposed to protect women and children. And Don Lemon went into this Christian church to harass and terrorize young children. So not only did he fail as a journalist, he failed just in his basic manhood. As for his journalistic, look, being a journalist is not a get out of jail free card. I cannot go and commit a crime and say, but I'm a journalist. I was just testing this out because I'm going to write an entire report on how to actually rob someone successfully. No, you don't get to do those things. And according to the indictment, he blocked one of the, I think it was the exit ways. That's not what a journalist does. He was also harassing the pastor. The pastor said, look, these are people who are trying to worship. And Don Lemon says, well, they have, freedom of the press. Well, there's also freedom of religion, and he violated that. And when Biden was in office, they went after conservative journalists and threw them in jail or tried to throw them in jail under the FACE Act. And so, you know what? For the same party that told us nobody's above the law and that people should be treated equally under the law, Don Lemon is now getting exactly what he reaped.
Well, and not only that, the Obama administration, rather the Biden administration, put churches under surveillance and said that people who attended Latin Catholic masses could be suspicious and white supremacists. Hey, on that other subject, though, of white supremacy, Nike, as we say in the United States, or Nike, as we say down under, they're under investigation by the U.S. government over claims that the footwear company discriminated actively against white workers. Court documents have been revealed showing investigations are being led into allegations the firm engaged in biased treatment against white employees, job applicants, and training program participants. Tell me about this.
Yeah, I read the story and I don't think it's surprising. We have seen the DEI monster kind of take over a lot of corporations over the past few years. And I think only now are we having that kind of reconciliation. We're kind of orienting ourselves to say, this was ridiculous. We were justifying discrimination against, in particular, white men to remedy what others claim was happening, even though there was not necessarily any proof to say that there was widespread discrimination, right? And I think it's good that Nike will be held accountable, as every corporation should, because everybody should focus on merit-based applicants. If you are picking someone because they check a box with their race, their gender, their sexuality, that's problematic because one, it doesn't mean that they're qualified to do the job. And two, again, you're pushing someone else aside who may be qualified, but because of their skin tone. So discrimination is bad no matter who it is against. And everybody should take a stand, Black, white, Asian, whatever you are, against any kind of discrimination, including hiring practices.
Here, here, and very well said. Finally, Brianna, before I let you go, it's the Super Bowl this weekend. I hope everyone's going to get their hot wings out and all that sort of fun stuff. But our old friend Bad Bunny, I mentioned him earlier in the show, and I don't know where they get these names, but he has been announced as the halftime show. Now, we've talked a lot about politics and sport here. Is he going to wind up using this halftime show to go on another rant about illegal immigration and Trump and everything else?
Oh, of course he will. And I think it's odd that the NFL allowed him to be the, singer or the performer, because most people who are tuning in on the Super Bowl and who even are attending that, one, probably aren't going there for politics. They're not these soy boys or these white woke liberal women. They're probably young dudes who care about sports and politics. And we also know, or not politics, but we do know that young dudes who do care about sports also tend to lean Republican. We saw in the 2024 election, 18 to 29-year-old young men shifted 29 points to the right. We know older men tend to be conservative. So the demographic that will likely be watching and attending the Super Bowl is not the same demographic that would enjoy Bad Bunny. At least that's what I would assume.
Brianna Lyman, so well said. And yes, if only the king could come back and give us some of that wisdom today. Brianna Lyman from thefederalist.com.